Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time. As I say every single Thursday at 2 p.m., here we are back, right? Bigger and better than ever is our promise to you every week, every expo, which, by the way, hopefully you're registered for our April 17th annual expo. It's going to be a first ever, right? First time we ever included life annuities, health, and lead vendors as well. So, again, a one stop shop, a day full of sales ideas you cannot afford to miss. Okay, so don't forget. In fact, we have a slide that talks about some of the new updates at the expo this year. But what we're talking about today, who is actually part of our expo because they're a core carrier, is Banner Life, who's also bigger and better than ever for so many reasons. And I have our regional, our VP on. I have our internal VP as well that's joining us. They're going to talk in about 5 to 7 minutes on their feature presentation. But there's lots of updates, right? There's as you know, right, you have Banner Life, the most competitive term product available today. Okay, I'll stand behind that. And there's a reason why we have over 100 carriers. But why is Banner Life consistently a top 10? Why are we 20% up year over year for the last 3 to 5 years? Okay, there's a huge reason why. But what's so exciting is 2026, right, comes along. They're now known as Banner Life once again. Number two, just a few days ago, they increased their instant decision face amount to $5 million, which is insane, right? I remember 15, 20 years ago, to even 10 years ago, right? The max non-med face amount was 250,000, maybe 400,000, and then it went to 500,000. But the problem is the premiums were so inflated, right? There was so much fat built into the product that it just wasn't competitive. So yes, it was a great hook for selling or marketing, okay, but at the end of the day, it still took 4 to 5 weeks if you were lucky enough to get approved, and then pricing was so expensive that policies were getting replaced. So anyway, you fast forward to today, and Banner Life is at the forefront of the space. On top of that, we have a term to term conversion program, collateral assignments, right? They made it so simple. Think of SBA loan protection, bank loans. Okay, there's so many different markets you can get involved with just on this product alone. Okay, and Shermy Now Direct, they've been our core company on our platform for many years. So there's so many reasons. And by the way, we know once you go through the process, right? Once, let's say it's on in Shermy Now Direct, hopefully, and you go through the process A to Z, right, with your client, or if your client jumps on at 2 a.m. when you're sleeping, everything literally happens within 15 to 17 minutes, right, including an instant decision. So when we at Levinson and Associates are so comfortable where we say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Agent, when you run through the process with your client, not only are you getting, of course, top commissions, right, because we're a direct IMO, but number two, we're going to give you $150 for your first Banner app with Levinson and Associates. Okay, even if you're with another IMO today, we'll move you over to Levinson. We match or beat your commissions, and then, of course, run with the $150 Amazon gift card. Or if you want whatever, Zelle, it's up to you. Write the app. We'll talk and let us know when you're ready. Let's keep moving forward. Yes, we're going to have our question of the day, so make sure you're on until the end, right before 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll get everybody out a little early. Make sure you're paying attention. I'll ask a question that has to do with the slides. Whoever answers first and correctly wins an Apple iWatch. As long as you're an active Levinson agent with us, no problem. Even if you're not, get appointed, right? Hopefully with Banner, write your first app, and then boom, we'll send you the iWatch anyway. So again, make sure you're on until the end and you get set up. Most important. Let's keep moving forward. I want to talk about what's most important to us here at Levinson, knowing we are 100% wholesaler, right? Distributor. We do not sell out of the back office, out of a call center, okay, which is a conflict of interest. Our customer is our agent, period, or our GA, our general agencies, okay? So when you share on our Levinson Facebook page, on our Google reviews link. This is what moves the needle for us. I know I talk about it every week. I share these reviews every week, but it is that important to all of us. Okay, so please keep sharing. And I just want to mention Lassans and Ernesto. Your system is amazing, so easy to use. I'm excited to get started. You both have been such a blessing. Thanks for all your help. Like when you see that from an agent out in the trenches, that means we're doing a good job. We're doing the right thing for our customers, which is our agent. Okay, again, the right side. Thank you for your time. Everyone at Levinson has been fantastic. Okay. That is enough to move the needle. In fact, we brought in lunch last week for the whole staff because of these great reviews. So keep sharing. Okay. And other agents out there see stuff like this, and it helps them build a relationship with Levinson as well. Okay. So you're doing the right thing, not only for yourself, for the community, and getting an IUL prospecting book free on top of it once you share. Let's keep moving forward. I want to talk about our big event of the year, Full Circle. I just spoke about it. I am back again speaking about it. So, bottom left corner, you're going to see the Banner Life logo in the center. Okay, yes, there's a reason why. Those are our core carriers when it comes to the most competitive term product by an A-plus rated company. Banner truly stands alone. Okay, and by the way, each carrier on that sheet represents a niche in the space. Okay, so there's a reason why we have a, let's say, 20 to 40-minute presentation for each company on that Friday. Also, networking lunch, okay, right on the beach. So almost an hour lunch right on the sand, okay, with other top agents from around the country. We have agents coming in from Hawaii, from California, okay, from all the way to Key West, literally, okay, driving and flying and all the above. Make sure you're there. If you're a Levinson active agent, it's complimentary, 100% complimentary. We have a great Forbes Council keynote speaker, Michael Vitri. Is going to be speaking for about 40 minutes. We have our health insurance booth, our lead booth, new technology, which, you know what I'm going to do is after Banner Life is done with their presentation, I'm going to talk about this new marketing platform that's going to be available only to active Levinson agents, right? I just saw the demo earlier today. You're going to love this. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to talk about next, real fast, and then I only have one more slide, and then Gino and Marty will take the wheel. This is our bi-weekly newsletter. So real fast, what I want to explain, yes, we have over 100 carriers, thousands of products, life, annuities, health, leads, technology, InsureMeNow Direct. How do you keep your pulse on all of these updates, changes, new tech? Very simple, okay? Every other week, this will be sitting in your inbox. Click, point, open, done. Okay? You don't have to go to 100 different websites to see what the latest and greatest is, or a product was discontinued, or a new product was added. Everything is here in front of you. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, this is my last slide. Actually, I have one more, and then Gino will take the wheel with Marty as well. FAQ videos now in English and Spanish, all departments. So everything you need to know is sitting in front of you. By the way, we're going to send out a thank you email to all attendees, and we'll include all of the brochures, the new Banner Life brochures, the new FAQ video links, everything that we just went over and that we're going over in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's keep moving forward. I want to talk about real fast the $150 cash incentive. So it's so easy, okay? Even if you have written a ton of apps with Levinson already, it's okay. You write your first Banner Life app with us, $150, Amazon gift card. Okay, I mentioned it earlier. If you qualify, if you prefer Zelle, we can do that as well. Just let me know as soon as the free look is over. You are in and qualified. Okay, it's that easy. Let's keep moving. Our feature presentation today is Banner Life. We have Gino and Marty joining us, and they're going to take the wheel from here. Marty, can you hear me? Okay.
I can. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. Yes. Just wanted to say thank you. Bill, I think you just gave my whole presentation. So, but thank you for that incredible, thank you for that incredible lead in. And I first want to just take the time just to say thank you. Thank you to Levinson and Associates, and thank you to all the advisors out there. We had a phenomenal year, and we could not have done it without you. So truly, we are truly grateful for the partnership and every case that you send to us. So I first wanted to start out by kind of talking about what Bill had mentioned. We're only in month 2, so we're only in February of 2026, and we're already making big moves. So on February 2nd, we were officially acquired by Meiji Yasuda, and we are now proudly rebranded as Banner Life. So as you can see here, this is our whole new brand. If you, by any chance, have any old marketing materials lying around that has our old logo, just go ahead and toss those. Sounds like you can head on over to Levinson's website and grab whatever you need. But then let's really kind of get into why 2026 is going to be a breakout year. So our goal is simple. We want to be your #1 term life insurance carrier. So why choose Banner Life? So first of all, the product. We have product strength. We have level term durations from 10 all the way up to 40 level term years. Whether your clients need short-term protection or they need long-term security, we've got it covered. Also, with our term riders, your clients can easily ladder coverage. They can customize the coverage that they need all on one policy, makes it clean, simple, and efficient. 2 is our pricing. We constantly strive to be within the top 3 when it comes to term life insurance. And in fact, just yesterday we announced our 2nd rate change of the year. So if you see anybody else out there, moving, changing rates, you can be assured that we're going to be right behind them, because we want to make sure we stay in that top 3. 3rd is our flexibility with our application completion process. It's end-to-end digital process, but we give you the control to determine how that application is going to be completed. Whether you're just doing a drop ticket, you're going through InsureMeNow Direct, you're using a third-party platform, you can just drop a ticket and let your client fill out the application themselves. Or maybe you have a scenario where you would prefer to sit down with your client and walk them through the advisor-assisted application. You can do that as well, and stay tuned. In the next couple of months, we're going to enhance that process for you and make that even easier. And if they rather do a phone interview, we've got the expertise, we've got the experts on the phone. We can complete the application alongside your client. And then 4th is speed. So whether it is just with the underwriting process, and we're going to go over the accelerated underwriting in a second. We've also, as Bill mentioned, we've digitized the collateral assignment process. So you pair that with our accelerated underwriting, and your clients are able to close on their loans faster with fewer delays. And it's a win-win for both you and your clients. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Gino to talk about our increased retention and AUW.
Thank you, Marty. Hello, everyone. Well, thank you for spending some time with us. We're extremely proud to be one of the core carrier with Levinson and Associates, living a great partner. And one of the very exciting things, besides rebranding back to Banner Life, with the new structure, we're going to continue our pursuit to be very protection focused. What that means is we had our retention increase last year. That was exciting. Well, this year, effective already in place, we had increased our retention from the current $4 million up to $10 million. So that gave us a lot of control on larger cases without involving reinsurers. So for age 20 to 75, we're able to, for Preferred Plus, through Table 4, have our retention increased to $10 million. And even for Table 5 to Table 12, it has also increased to $2 million now. And in addition to that, as Bill had mentioned earlier, for our AU process, this is where you can get instant decision on the case that's dropped. We had expanded up to 5 million, and that is exciting. That will put us by far to be a leader in that space, in the term space out there. And exam-free and instant decision for client between age 20 to 60 is up to 5 million. And then our higher auto bind limit across most array class has increased as well. So therefore, our preferred plus to table 4 auto bind is up to 40 million. That's 10 million, face amount increase in that. Table 5 to A is now 20 million, and that's also a $10 million increase. So we definitely are in the area to be able to support your larger case needs. And Marty will talk about our ability to also underwrite complex case and impaired risk case. And for those that's going to be at the expo, I will be there with my counterpart, who his name is Kelly Bennett. We will be going over some of this stuff as well. I'm excited to see everybody in a couple months.
Great, thanks, Gino. And one other thing that I wanted to mention too is that for clients ages 61 to 70, we now offer exam-free underwriting up to $500,000 for those who are eligible. So don't really think there's anybody else in the market space that's doing that. So as Gino said, we are one of the few life insurance companies in the country offering this level of exam-free coverage at these face amounts. It's fully integrated into our end-to-end digital platform. As of December, over 46% of applicants received an instant decision. Of those who are not eligible for an instant decision, 85% were still approved exam-free. And now we've expanded to 5 million. So we expect those numbers to climb even higher. And for those who don't get that instant, the instant decision, I think it's about, we see here 7 out of 10, it's about 66% of clients are being approved or being decisioned within 10 days or less. So again, we're just really speeding up the process. So it's about momentum, it's about growth, and it's about making it easier for you to do business. Another thing that we've already enhanced for this year is we've improved our underwriting guide. And if you haven't taken a look at this, I strongly suggest you do. It is so much cleaner, is jam-packed with a lot of information that's really going to help you kind of determine what rate class your client falls in, whether they're going to be preferred plus or they could be standard plus. We even have a list of declines and postpones because we really don't want to waste anybody's time. So if you take a look at that and you say, okay, that's a condition that, Banner just, isn't too keen on underwriting, then, we're not wasting anybody's time. But one of the things that we did improve is our build chart. So if you haven't looked at our build charts before, again, strongly suggest you take a look at it. We're very competitive when it comes to build. And we actually just improved the build chart for standard and substandard underwriting classes. Within this guide, we've consolidated a list of conditions that usually require an APS. And that just kind of helps you gauge what the underwriting path is going to be for one of your clients. We've simplified the personal income multipliers. And then as Gino talked about, with the increased retention and the auto bind limits, those are also included in the new guide. Another thing that I just like to point out is we now provide a comprehensive list. This list is, I want to say it's about 3 pages. It's a list of best classes for medical and non-medical conditions. We also include our sweet spot. So, everybody always wants to know, well, what are you really good at? So, these are just a couple of examples. So cigarette smokers, 3 years out. And I shouldn't even say cigarette smokers. It's really those who use tobacco or nicotine products. If they've been just 3 years out without using tobacco or nicotine, they can actually qualify for Preferred Plus. Most other carriers, you're going to have to wait 5 years. Family history of cancer, as long as it's not due to a hereditary cancer syndrome, that can be considered at Preferred Plus. High functioning autism, that too can be considered at Preferred Plus. That's huge. If we take a look at preferred considerations, mild or moderate sleep apnea, as long as they're compliant with their treatment and no residual symptoms. Epilepsy with no seizure in 5 years. Standard Plus, oh, and that's, I apologize, I just realized that's not correct. We've got the Standard Plus may be available, but we've moved that epilepsy to preferred. If we look at Standard Plus consideration, so if they've had a personal history of cancer, just all depending upon the type and the onset and the treatment, they could possibly be considered at Standard Plus. Diabetes, as long as the age of onset is 50 or older, they're non-tobacco, they're well controlled, they have favorable risk factors. Rheumatoid arthritis, bipolar disorder is even possible with Standard Plus. Ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, these are all just examples of what we can consider Standard Plus. And that just kind of takes us into, that really just kind of leads us into impaired risk. So impaired risk, also known as complex medical needs that often results in table ratings, these conditions, they're increasing. According to the CDC, 6 out of 10 Americans have at least one chronic disease, and 4 in 10 have 2 or more chronic diseases. And while the diagnosis may be complicated, writing these policies on the applicants, it doesn't have to be. We believe these health challenges shouldn't be roadblocks to coverage. So what are we doing? So we're simplifying the impaired risk and we're turning them into opportunities for you to grow your business, to help serve your clients better. We've been hard at work at enhancing to rise beyond expectations. This includes adopting a flexible underwriting approach that leads to faster decisions, higher approval rates, and expanded underwriting eligibility. We've refreshed our impaired risk and underwriting process and guidelines for faster approvals with less hassle. We take the best in business approach. So what this means is we look at the client holistically. And if they have more than one medical condition, we look at those conditions and we determine, well, I shouldn't say we, I'm not an underwriter. Our underwriters take all of that into consideration, and they look at those conditions to see if one has an impact on the other. So if they really don't impact, one isn't going to make the other worse. Then what we do is we blend that, because whatever the higher rate class is, that's going to cover the other conditions. Now, if you've got a couple of conditions and one can make the other worse, so for example, somebody has type 2 diabetes, and maybe they have a heart condition, well, in those cases, we would stack the table ratings. So in that case, it would be, a table 2 plus a table 2 would give you a table 4. But again, our underwriters they're taking everything into consideration, and they're underwriting on a holistic basis. We have more competitive pricing by table rating off Standard Plus. If we come back at a higher table rating, I always say run the numbers, because even if we were to come back a table 4, you may be surprised to see that our table 4 may beat another carrier's table 2 or table 3. So always run those numbers. Make sure you're getting your client, a price life insurance within their budget. We've employed experienced underwriters. They all have an average of 21 years of experience to create innovative, high-value solutions for impaired risks. And then we don't have instant declines or postpones on cases 2 million or above. So if you submit a case that's 2 million and they've got some conditions and it looks like it's going to be a decline, we don't do an auto decline. Those will always go to an underwriter to take a second look to see what we can do. We focus on leveraging advances in medicine and digital technologies to improve, transform, and accelerate our risk selection process. So if we move into large cases, so in an industry, we're seeing an increased demand for high-value term life insurance policies. Factors like health, age, financial obligations, long-term planning, these can all drive the need for higher coverage amount. As the financial landscape evolves, more clients require $5 million in face amount to ensure stability, protect their businesses, and secure their families' futures. But ultimately, large cases represent an opportunity for you to strengthen relationships, deliver more value, and drive business growth. So we're simplifying large cases, and we're turning them into opportunities for you to grow your business. We define large cases as any application with a face amount of $5 million or higher, or if it looks like the premium is going to be $10,000 and more. To help you best serve these clients, we've been hard at work with enhancements to rise beyond expectations. This includes elevating our large case underwriting with our dedicated expertise. We have a team of 8 dedicated underwriters who all have experience of 15 years or more in this large market space. We have a more structured process with just one underwriter assigned to the case from application submission all the way through to the final offer. So each of these underwriters have a signing authority of 10 million. So most of the time they're able to just keep that case, underwrite it all the way through and not have to pass it off to somebody else. The underwriting, we also have proactive communications. We're making it easier to navigate complex cases and secure the best possible outcome. So our underwriters are reaching out to your case managers at Levinson and Associates and really working with them to make sure we get these important cases through. So talking about business cases, particularly small businesses, are growing across the country and creating new opportunities. According to the U.S. Department of Treasury, more than 19 million new business applications were filed from late 2020 to 2024. And as these businesses grow, adapt, and evolve, so do their insurance needs. Why business-owned life insurance matters? Despite 85% of business owners feeling confident in their ability to retire by their target age, 46% do not have a succession plan in place. 62% of owners find the process overwhelming. So when businesses do not have insurance, they face many risks and challenges, like what will happen if there's a loss of a key employee, or the company ownership comes into question after the death of a founder. So term life insurance can be extremely important to make sure that these businesses, continue on. So what are we doing? So we've refreshed the underwriting process and guidelines for business to be approved faster and with less hassle. So no redundant financial reviews if a company's been pre-approved for a large loan. More progressive key person multipliers, up to 20%, to accommodate business owners with challenging cash flow situations like startup and entrepreneurs. We've reduced the need for co-signers, making approvals easier for business owners. And again, with our high retention limits, it's allowing larger policies to be approved with ease. And I just wanted to share a case study. So this is actually a case study that I had. So I was contacted by an advisor. He had an individual, he had a client, it was a male, age 45 years old, and they were in need of key person insurance. He was really apprehensive about doing a business case through a digital platform. So I was able to talk him through, how to drop a ticket, the information that, he was going to put in the ticket, and then what his client was going to see as they went through the application. They needed 30 years. They needed $10 million of coverage. The agent quoted them preferred plus, and so the initial premium was just a little over $16,000. I do have to say that in this case, the client must have been extremely motivated because we got this pushed through in 2 weeks. Even though they needed an exam and we needed to get an APS, we also needed the business financial justification documents. They got all that to us right away. And with our digital process, we're able to get those medical records really quickly. So again, he was approved within 2 weeks. Now, he was approved Standard Plus non-tobacco due to mildly elevated coronary calcium results on their imaging report. And while that may not sound like a big deal, apparently at age 45, that's something we really shouldn't be seeing. So the fact that we were able to approve them Standard Plus, that was a pretty big win. So they ended up changing the offer. So again, because it went from Preferred Plus to Standard Plus, it made that premium a little bit outside their budget. But the advisor was able to work with their client, and they really determined, that the most important thing was that they had the $10 million worth of coverage. So in order to keep it within budget, they adjusted the term duration. So they did go from an OpTerm 30 to an OpTerm 20, but this gentleman still has his $10 million of coverage for the next 20 years. And that case was placed with a premium of $15,396. So in order to help you, in all your efforts and in everything that you've done or that you do, we have created advisor toolkits, and all of this can be found. It can be found on our Advisor Hub, and we'll make sure we get all of this over to Levinson and Associates so they have it as well. But we've got toolkits for helping you with business cases, with impaired risk cases, large cases. If you're in the P&C space, we have something special just for P&C cross-selling or health insurance cross-selling. We also have a toolkit that specifically addresses the AUW. So, when you look at it, you can see that we're not just easing into 2026, we're accelerating into 2026. So let's make Banner Life your go-to life insurance partner for this year. New brand, higher retention, expanded, accelerated underwriting limits. We have the competitive pricing. We have the digital efficiency. And I was saving the best for last because I wasn't 100% sure how much time I was going to have. So just an idea. So if, as you are, we're starting out a new year, if you're looking for a reason to reach out to your clients, we offer a unique opportunity to extend coverage with no additional underwriting. And that's through our term-to-term exchange program. So you can, we've got all of this out on our website. So you'll be able to see what cases are eligible. And I'm going to show you that in a second. But what this allows you to do is it allows you to reach out to your clients within the first 48 months. So their policy, in order to be eligible, their policy must be in the first 4 policy years or first 48 months. The face amount, I apologize, it's not on this slide, but the face amount does cap out. So right now, this is only eligible for those who were approved Preferred Plus through a Table 4, as long as their face amount is not above $2 million. If they were issued a Table 5 through a Table 12, then their face amount can't be above $500,000. Excuse me, but this gives you the option or a reason to reach out to your clients in those first 4 years. Maybe you just want to, reach out and say hello and just ask them what has changed. Because even though 4 years doesn't sound like a long time, a lot can happen in 4 years. Maybe they've had an addition to their family. Maybe they've purchased a new home and now they have a 30-year mortgage and they only purchased a 20-year term plan. Maybe before they, their budget kind of limited them to that, to a shorter term duration. They're making more money now. Maybe they've gotten a promotion. They have a new job. Or they just have buyer's remorse. Did you know that, and I'm sure you all know this, but 20 years is the most popular term duration to purchase. And 20 years does sound like a long time. And I think, usually 20 years is priced very competitively. But when you really think about it, is 20 years enough? A lot of times it's not. And when I see, people in their 30s and 40s buying 20-year term, I'm like, my gosh, that's going to get you till you're like your 50s and your 60s. And then what do you do? So again, this just gives you, This just gives you a reason to reach out to your client and just ask them what's changed. Does the term policy that I sold you, a couple of years ago, does it still fit your needs? And the great thing is that you earn commission on the net premium difference. So again, I've kind of jumped ahead, but this just shows you, who's eligible. So again, if somebody who purchased a 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, or 35 year, they do have to be within the age range to be able to get that longer term duration. And they must exchange their policy for a longer term duration. We do not require underwriting. It's just going to be a couple of forms that they need to fill out. And within a couple of weeks, they have their brand new policy. And it's for that full term duration. We're not going to truncate it because they've already had insurance with us for a couple of years. If they exchange their 20-year for a 30-year, they're getting the full 30 years. Now, those who are not eligible, if the policy contains waiver of premium, if they have a flat extra, if the policy was partially or fully reinsured, those won't be eligible. And then if you have a client who had purchased a Banner policy and now they're living in New York, that's William Penn, so they wouldn't be able to exchange a Banner for a William Penn or vice versa. And just to kind of give you an idea of how this works and these are two actual cases. We had a gentleman, he was 68 years old when he took out an OpTerm 10. It was for $100,000, and that gave him level coverage until he was 78. His premium was $2,355. Now, I don't know the reason why he decided to exchange, but he decided to exchange his policy for an OpTerm 15. So remember, our OpTerm 15 goes up to age 75. So he was right within that 4-year mark. So if you'll look, when he took out the policy, he was 68. When he decided to exchange his policy, he was now 72. He exchanged a 10-year for a 15-year. The face amount has to remain the same, so it's still $100,000. But now he has level term coverage until he's 87, whereas before it was only 78. His premium did increase. It went up to $5,253, but certainly he felt that that was worth it. And then when you look at the difference in premium, the premium that your commission is being based off of is $2,898. So that's pretty good. And then just looking at a second example, this was a 38-year-old. They had taken out a 30-year for $2 million. That gave them level coverage until they were 68, and their premium was just over $3,400. They decided a couple of years later that 30 years just really wasn't long enough. They exchanged it for a 35-year term policy. Again, you have to keep the face amount at $2 million, but now they have level term coverage until they're 75. And yes, the premium did increase to just over $5,000 annually. But again, if we look at the commission, the payable commission to you, that's going to be based on that increase of $1,524. So I hope you found this informational. And I'm jumping ahead myself, so sorry for that. This is where you can find your eligible list of policies that are going to be eligible for the term-to-term exchange. So if you are registered for our dashboard, when you log in, you're going to click on My Business to the left, and then at the bottom, you're going to click on Term Exchange, and it's going to bring up all of your eligible policies. And it's going to give you all the information that you need to know in order to be able to run that new quote and then reach out to your clients and say, hey, what's changed? Has anything changed? Let's take a look at, your term, the term duration. Is that, now covering all of your needs? And if it's not, let's look at exchanging it for a longer term duration. So that's it. Again, I hope you found this informative. Again, we just thank you so much for everything that you did for us in 2025. Looking forward to a great 2026. And if you have any questions, I'm sure just get it on over to Bill, and then and we'll be able to answer those for you.
Absolutely. Marty, great job. And Gino, great job. As always, we appreciate it. And I think now you can kind of see the proof in the pudding, right? And they they were always known as, the number one term life carrier in the brokerage space, and now you can see all the value add with the latest technology, the term to term program, right? The underwriting, various niches that you can dive into. And what I would encourage you all to do, because obviously some of you are coming from the final expense side, maybe your third bedroom home office, and you focus on term life or even estate planning or health or P&C. When you have your next term quote to run, you're going to see Banner come up number one, or number two, long shot number three, but give them a shot, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. And obviously get the $150 gift card with your first app, and then all of the other tools and platforms that we offer. So let's move on to the first slide here, how to get started. By the way, we're going to get everyone out in about 10 to 12 minutes here. But I just want to mention real fast, when you think about value add, when you think about term to term, right? And Banner Life, A plus rated, right? Even if the client says, "Oh, I never heard of Banner Life. Tell me more," right? When you hear that they have the second best rating available by AM Best, okay, that's huge. It's priceless. So I think they're like the second or third largest in the world when it comes to term life sales. But think about this. So we have thousands and thousands of orphan leads, okay, sitting here, okay, where maybe the agent passed away, unfortunately, maybe they're not in the industry anymore. So you can take advantage of these orphans, right? You write a minimum of 10,000 a premium a year with Levinson, all carriers, doesn't matter, all lines, and you get a batch of orphans. Or if you transfer Banner Life, right, your existing appointment with ABC Financial over to Levinson, we match or most of the time beat your commission. Plus, you get free orphans with your first paid application. Okay, it's your choice. You get cash for contracting or leads for contracting. But here's what I love: most of these orphans are Banner term policies. So that means you can get back in the door and either offer a conversion to permanent, right? A, or B, term to term and get paid a new commission, right? Just like the client purchased a new policy from you. So there's so many options here. And then if you're using Insure Me Now Direct, which is free, right? Hopefully you're driving traffic to Insure Me Now. That means if your consumer, right, buys the term product, which is, by the way, the same product, price the same, nothing changes, okay? It's 100% direct to consumer. The client gets a free 1 year scholarship through Sage, okay? Doesn't cost the agent a penny to be in the program, doesn't cost the client a penny of extra premium. They get this value add package, right? Because they're working with Michael Smith, Lincoln, Nebraska, Levinson insurance agent. Okay, that's it. It's that simple. Okay, so just you got to think like that. All right, bottom right corner. Those are the last few years, the awards that we received from Banner. Like I was saying, we're about 20% year over year for the last 3 to 5 years. Okay, and we just had our best year ever in 25. There's a reason why, right? We have things that no other IMO has when it comes to Banner and all of our other carriers. Okay, we have a huge leg up, and I think if you've been working with us for a while, you can be a witness to that statement. So anyway, let's keep moving forward. If you want to get set up, just let us know, or wait until the thank you email comes in, which will be in your inbox before midnight tonight. Okay, roughly about 8 or 9 p.m. You'll have it sitting there. Let's move forward. I want to talk about Insure Me Now for a second and just show you how simple it is, especially now with this new $5 million cap increase. So that to me, right? If you're working the bank market, if you're working whatever, mortgage protection, right? It gives you so much more room, especially for you advisors out there. If you're focused on estate planning, right? Typically those are, $2 to $5 million policies. So now you can do that, and the client can get approved in 15 minutes if they're standard or better, no red flags. So anyway, again, no charge to you, no activation, no monthly fees, no nothing. If you're a P&C agency, a health agency, you should be cross-selling, right? And the new comment and statement is, right, especially in 2026, your client is cross-buying, So if you're not cross-selling, right, they're going to another advisor or agent, period. Okay, so I think you know the writing is on the wall. Okay, and it's time to get comfortable with the basics. We're here to help you, but you got to get the word out. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to do quickly is talk about Insure Me Now Direct, a new adjustment that we made, which you'll see on the top left corner. Instant decisions currently up to 5 million. So the programmers are actually including the new adjustment in the platform. It should be done by today or tomorrow. And then the latest brochures, including the increase and the new logo, will also be on the platform by, like I said, tonight or tomorrow. So you'll see that reflect. On the bottom left is Manhattan Life. Top right is Assurity. So Assurity has a new DI plan up to $30,000 a month benefit. Okay, they're playing in that white collar space, right? They're looking at the competition like Principal. They're saying, well, you know what? We can do this as good, if not better, and pay out more comp and renewals. So that's another great carrier and contract you should be looking at, right? For maybe term with ROP. You know, it's funny. I saw this morning, and I'm sure you've seen it by now. There's a senior life commercial that's all over cable right now, satellite. I'm seeing it all the time. I think it even played in the Super Bowl. And it talks about, hey, get your term life insurance with us because we're the only company that has term life with all of your money back at the end, term with ROP, right? And they're talking to consumers. Well, guess what? Okay. You can do the same thing, if not better, with Assurity, right? With Kansas City Life, with some of our carriers and products through Levinson. And we know it's priced a lot better than Senior Life, right? That's a typical career company. So anyway, it's working for them, okay? And it should be working for you, but you're just guilty of not getting the word out to the masses, right? And we can help you do that. So anyway, it made me think of Assurity. So the new DI plan, term with return of premium, critical illness with an ROP option, guaranteed issue accidental death, right? You can even put an ROP option on that product. This is all on Insure Me Now. We have guaranteed issue Gerber Life. Who hasn't heard of Gerber Life? Okay, use that in your ads, right, to generate sizzle, to open new doors. I mean, the opportunities are endless. I don't have to explain it anymore. Let's keep moving forward. So this is our new marketing piece. So this is just Insure Me Now Direct. And I know we got about 10 minutes left, and I have a few things to cover. But I want to just explain one thing. So everything here on the left-hand side, this is a flyer that we built. It's all about Insure Me Now Direct, all of the different marketing programs, right? And the point is, how do you as an agent open more doors to create new activity, right? New prospects, new leads. That's what this is about, this entire slide that you're looking at. Well, the best part, I hope you're sitting down for this. So I did like I said, a demo this morning. I mentioned it earlier in the call. We are rolling out, it's a new Levinson and Associates platform, okay, powered by Apis. And here's what's so cool. We're going to have this ready by the expo, if not earlier. So think about this for a minute. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for 10 pilot agents that will get this for free, no charge. If you're interested, send me an email directly. So it's a marketing platform powered by AI. Okay, and here's what's so cool. So think about this for a minute. Nothing to do with the slide in front of you, but think about this for a second. Okay, now you're going to have your own dashboard, your own login. You're going to have a screen in front of you, and let's just say you saw maybe a great Facebook ad or a LinkedIn post. Okay, whatever it is, or you saw a competitor's newsletter. Okay, that comes in your inbox, right, from a competitor, and you said, "Wow, this looks great." So you have your, let's call it Levinson and Associates marketing dashboard up on the left-hand side, right? If you have two screens, you take that article or that link or that image, you drag and drop it into your dashboard. Okay, you won't believe this. In less than 30 seconds, that dashboard is scraping the entire article or image or post or newsletter, whatever it is, okay? And then it's going to lay out for you, okay, a LinkedIn post, a newsletter, an image, okay, to post on social media, and even a data table, okay, maybe with some stats, okay, depending on whatever the information is. So it's basically scraping AI and then giving you back in less than 30 seconds 7 different versions, right? With your logo, contact information, headshot, all of your info because it's already built into the dashboard. So it's creating all of this marketing material for you. And guess what? The best part? Your MailChimp or Constant Contact account is already loaded in through an API through the dashboard. Okay. Your LinkedIn account, your Facebook account, your Instagram account, and your Outlook calendar. It's already set up in your dashboard through an API. What that means is once these 7 new marketing pieces are created, right, just because you drag and drop the flyer, right, or someone else's newsletter, could be a competitor, like I said, it's going to create these 7 or 11 new marketing pieces for you. You click a button. Guess what you just did? You just posted on 3 different social media platforms. You sent out an e-blast to your entire database, and then everything works in your calendar. So it shows you, hey, this is what you posted on this day, okay? And everything syncs in one easy to use dashboard. You could even schedule out. You can say, hey, I love this post. I want to do this now. I want Instagram to show up a week later. And then I want my LinkedIn newsletter to show up 2 weeks later. And then everything shows in your calendar so you know what's coming up the next month. Okay. You have 30 days to schedule everything. Okay. Imagine how cool is that? You don't have to develop a newsletter any longer by taking an hour and grabbing facts and stats from here and there, or a post and then creating graphics and then putting your image in. Everything's done instantly in less than 30 seconds. I love this. Okay. And again, 10 pilot agents, if you're interested, let me know. But think about cross selling, right? Your clients are cross buying. The sky is the limit now with the latest technology, and we're the first to offer this. So very excited. Let's keep moving forward. I didn't mean to get off track there, but I'm super excited about this. We're going to use it here in house, right, for all of our marketing too, right? It's why would you not? Okay, if you can go in your car and get an extra 10 miles to the gallon by pressing a button, right? Everyone's going to say I'm in. Who wouldn't want to save money and time? So that's how it works. Anyway, Banner Life, right? Running a term quote doesn't get any easier. Here's why. So go into our website when we're done, right? Click on term quotes, run a whatever, $100,000, 45 mail, a 20-year term, whatever it is. Just as an example, you're going to see Banner Life, like I said, always come up number 1 or 2, sometimes 3, but typically 1 or 2. Okay. And then, by the way, by the next day, they'll be number 1 because they're always out there looking at competition. But here's what's so cool. You put in the basic info of that client and everything populates right into a drop ticket or e-app, and you fill out anything missing or the client, and you are done. Or you can do everything on Insure Me Now Direct, or send the link to the client to do it at 3 a.m. while you're sleeping, and they can get an instant decision right before you even wake up at 7 a.m. and it's all done. Right? They were already approved. Policies in their inbox. Done. You didn't even know there was a sale made until you woke up. So anyway, doesn't get any easier. Let's keep moving forward. So I want to get everyone out on time in 6 minutes. This is our new LeadStar platform, right? This came with our partnership with AmeriLife that we introduced in October. What I love about this, right, this is a turnkey platform for all insurance agents. This will send out auto texts, auto emails, right? You can set up your calls through here, your marketing calls. Everything's recorded, right? If you need that requirement on the health side, if you want to purchase leads, live transfers, you can do that all through LeadStar. The best part, it's free for Levinson active agents. Now, obviously, if you want to start purchasing leads, you can do that. And there's a co-op discounted rate, but the platform is 100% complimentary for active Levinson agents. So this is awesome. And by the way, they have like 7 different types of leads, and they're going to have more options available this year from what I'm hearing. So we did a podcast, a webinar. Check it out when you can. Let's keep moving forward. So real fast, the orphans, I spoke about it earlier. All I can say, if you're writing with us, great. If you're writing with competition, okay, hopefully you move that business over to us, because once you're at a total of 10 grand, all companies, all product lines, $10,000 of premium, you get a free batch of orphans. Most of those are from Banner Life. What does that mean? term to term, right? Remember what I spoke about earlier, or term to perm, a new conversion, okay? New commission, you know what the rest means. Let's keep going forward. So Ringy is another great platform. I love this for turning prospects and leads that maybe aren't so warm, cold leads, right? Sitting on a shelf. You have thousands or hundreds or tens of thousands, right? I like to put them into the Ringy sifter because then Ringy not only does the 1-2 punch, right, that we always talk about, which is a call and email. Now it's the 1-2-3 punch, call, text, email, every prospect, every cold lead you had from 7 years ago, right? That maybe they wanted a quote and they never got back to you. This is going to literally send a message out to everyone, hit them from 3 different corners until they say, Bill, I want to set up an appointment Thursday at 2 p.m. in your calendar and Calendly, and you accept, you just got a new appointment from a 7-year-old cold lead. Okay, you get the point. Let's keep moving. What I want to do real fast is talk about social media posts on Insure Me Now and Banner. So what I would do, right, if I was an agent, make sure you're following our Insure Me Now direct Facebook page, our Instagram page. This is where we show all of our sample posts, quotes, testimonials, product info. And then, right, we can even co-brand most of this stuff for you. Your picture, logo, phone number, if you want us to do that. And then soon, you're going to have a platform that does it automatically, which is only a few weeks away, by the way. I talked about that earlier. If you're just hopping on a little late, let's keep moving forward. So the Bill Levinson Experience podcast, I have a great episode I'm recording tomorrow with SCA and Michael. So they have a exclusive premium finance program. Average size case is literally 100,000 of annual premium to $1 million. Actually $1 million plus. They are compliant with about 7 carriers. They're the only third-party premium finance company to be 100% compliant with multiple insurance companies, A-rated or better. So love that. That's tomorrow. And then right above that, episode 64, I had the CEO of AmeriLife on, Mr. Scott Perry. That's a great hour interview. And then there's a bunch of other MDRT agents. There's lead vendors. There's social media gurus, Gary V, NFL stars, professional athletes. You got to check it out when you can. It's all free, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Second to last slide here, and then we'll get everybody out. This is our menu of training events, which will also be in the thank you email that will be in your inbox tonight. The one thing I want to mention last but not least is Joe Ross is back. So I've been pushing for him to be back on a webinar or podcast for about a year now. Without getting into personal details, he had some medical recovery to do. He is back bigger and better than ever, and it's on May 14th, and I couldn't be any more excited because if you're in the IUL space or want to be, okay, especially with all of the chitter chatter going on last year, this is where you want to be if you want to move the needle with IUL, okay, on the 14th of May, right after the expo. Write that down. You will love it. An hour full of nuggets. My last slide here in our giveaway. So obviously, Valentine's Day was last weekend. We're talking about love, right? Ensure your love. We all know the new campaigns, the new quotes. Love means nothing without action. Apologies mean nothing without change. And trust means nothing without proof, right? Let's all stay on track, right? And use some of these new concepts, these sales ideas, these nuggets, especially this new marketing platform that I spoke about. If you want to be one of the 10 pilot agents, you'll be the first to sample the program. Just let me know. Send me an email and just say, Bill, I want to be a pilot agent. Okay, if you're 17 or 93 years old, it doesn't matter. Okay, we want you in the program first. So we have 10 agent max, and again, 100% free for you. You just got to give us a little feedback. All right, anyway, question of the day. I spoke about our new lead system, right? That literally became, in my opinion, one of the best programs as far as lead CRM tools, a complete A to Z process for insurance agents. It's called LeadStar. Tell me the cost and you win an Apple iWatch. Tell me the cost, you win the Apple iWatch. LeadStar is the platform. Andrew's going to see who was first and correct. And it's 3:01, so we're just about on time. So we're keeping
Yep.
up with our new goal for 26. Andrew, who was first? Who was correct?
Yes, sir. We have Frank R. Frank R.
Frank R. Congrats. The answer was free. It's 100% complimentary for Levinson Active Agents, the Lead Star platform. Frank, congrats once again. Let's all have a great day, great week, great weekend, great selling. Pick up the phone, call any one of our marketers. We'll get you up and running 100%. Pilot program, email me directly. Thanks again, everyone.